At the end of the day, should we be trying to increase the proportion of women at the top of business when there's overwhelming evidence to show that when you increase the proportion of women on major corporate boards, corporate performance declines? And I'll very happily take you through that evidence if you like.
So do you agree with that? Barbara, do you agree with that?
No, not at all, not at all. I think
business is going to decline if we start pushing more women on top.
Diversity and inclusion in all its forms, it makes business sense. And it's not about necessarily gender, it's difference of all kinds. I think if you have everyone that is the same around the table, you can't imagine I don't understand how you would then expect to be quite diverse in your offering as a business. I think you need to have a diverse workforce, and you definitely need to have diversity within the top, because at the end of the day, what message are we sending out to young girls?
But Barbara, we've just had an hour in the green room, and at the beginning of that hour, I offered to show you our short briefing paper with the evidence that putting more women on boards leads to financial decline. I would very happily take 1 minute now to take you through that.
Because first of all, it's really important that the boys are educated to effectively have the right opinion of girls, which is, you know, you're in a wonderful role for that, and some of the things you're doing with Fathers and Justice is very important. But my sort of other question to you would be as follows. Even if you thought that spike was for the reasons that you believe it is, which is not impossible, perhaps, do you not think that we need to really redress the balance? And sometimes it's just like everything in life. You've got to give things a jolt, and for a couple of years, a balance has got to swing in order for the pendulum to be slightly even.
Well, no. You know, I mentioned the threat to the FTSE 100, the 25% target. We know from a recent publication that the government is now going for 50% in the FTSE 100. We know that the FTSE 350 is next on the list. And at the end of the day, if we need more women in boardrooms, by the same logic, we need more white sprinters in the Olympics 100 metres final, and I don't see anyone claiming that.
Barbara, how do you feel about that?
God, wow.
That was an interesting...
Perhaps we should give them a 20-yard start so that they can actually get somewhere.
An interesting statement. And going back to what Sanya said, and talking about actually the next generation and challenging, I guess, almost a pink culture when it comes to talking to young girls about role models and aspirations.
You do a lot of work in that,
yes,
don't you?
So I run a campaign called Visible Women, and the idea is to match young women and girls with inspirational role models and mentors, specifically targeting male-dominated industries. When we look, I think the statistic shows that we need to have at least 100,000 new scientists and engineers by 2060. That means we need to be talking about, as much as we're talking about women on boards as an immediate kind of response and challenge, we actually need to start younger.
All right, then. Well, look, we've been...
To hear about the engineering side and what you just said about that and science. If today you're...
Very quickly, Mike,
yeah,
sorry.
Now, if today you're a female postgraduate engineering student at Brunel University, you're entitled to an additional £15,000 a year grant purely because of your gender.
Just because they need more female engineers.
They need more engineers, they don't need more female engineers. Female engineers are far more likely to quit the profession.
Well,
Held outside and pointed my weapon. Just as I thought, the fools kept stepping. Jumped in the foe, hit the juice on my ride. I got front and back and side to side.